I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All 6 of them.
Who are you?
Missed you at the academy.
Oh, thanks.
Not that much.
If great men graduate from the police academy every year,
Let's go!
then who are these guys?
Give it to me!
Now look, I'm serious. That's my... Oh, I'm sorry.
Police Academy 2.
Time to deploy for school.
I'll go when I'm ready.
Their first assignment.
You're ready now, mister.
Now playing at a theater near you, check your local listings.
Hey, this is Matt once again. What about another review? This is another Patreon review for Johnny, who want my thoughts on the Police Academy films. Now, if you're ever interested in requesting anything, you can either do so by joining my Patreon or send a request directly via my PayPal. The links are down below in the info box. If not, no worries, but if so, thank you so much. But Police Academy 2, the first assignment, 1985. Of course, the first film was a huge success, so they knew they had a franchise here. They bring back a good chunk of the cast. You got Steve Guttenberg back as Mahoney, Michael Winslow back, making the sound effects. You got Bubba Smith, Marion Ramsey as Hooks, Commandant Lassard. You got Tackleberry, the gun fanatic. Sadly, you don't have... I think this is the only one you don't have Leslie Easterbrook. One person I forgot to mention in the first movie was Tim Control. Typically forgot this. It's one of my favorite bits is Steve Guttenberg goes, "Let me see them thighs." What? The thighs? I said the thighs. I meant to say that in the first movie, but I forgot in the review for that. But yeah, Tim Control was in the first one. But this, you do have the introduction of Tim Kuzarinsky and Bobcat Goldthwait, who would work a lot more together in Police Academy 3 and 4. But here, it was kind of interesting going back and seeing how, because I had seen 3 and 4 multiple times, but I had not seen part 2. I had seen part 2, but not as frequently. I'm like, oh, that's right. They really were oppositions of each other. Because Tim Kuzarinsky's character was a shopkeeper, and Bobcat Goldthwait and his gang were the villains. So it's interesting that Bobcat was the villain, and then he would be one of them in part 3. A bit interesting. So interesting, I kicked the thing to move the camera. Pretty much the story is that George Gaynes, Commandant Lassard's... George Gaynes, who plays Commandant Lassard, his brother, played by Howard Hessman, who he may be most well known from the TV show WKRP in Cincinnati. He has pretty much a shitload of trouble. he needs help at his station. He needs help at his precinct, I should say. And Bounty Gothwait and his Dane are always wrecking things up. So Commandant Lassard sends 6 of his recruits from the first movie to try to help out his brother. His precinct in working order. And once again, like the first film, what makes it work are the cast of characters. Steve Guttenberg, you first see him, the Goot, on beach patrol. And you see him doing stuff like he's sticking balloons in his pants to fuck with the lady who's measuring his clothes. You have another supervisor being a bad guy, and the Goot is fucking with him going, I hate to break this. How did he word it? I don't know how to break this to you, sir, but I'm straight. I thought that was pretty funny. Or the prank he does where he switches the shampoo, so when the guy's doing the shampoo, his hands get stuck, so he has to rip it, and he's got the hairs on his palms. Who did this? And then Steve Guttenberg says, I don't know who did it, but if you don't stop that, you'll go blind. So I love the Goot. I love Steve Guttenberg. He was definitely a pivotal part in these movies. I really do. A little bit of Bugs Bunny, a little bit of Ryan Reynolds. I really like Steve Guttenberg. I'm not sure he has the acting of today as he did back then, but he did a great job in movies like this. Now you don't have G.W. Bailey back as your antagonist. Instead, in part 2 and 3, you have this guy named Art Matrano, which I like. I prefer G.W. Bailey, and for continuity's sake, I do wish G.W. Bailey did 2 and 3, since he did all the other ones. Again, just as a little bit of continuity with it. It makes me wonder, well, how come G.W. Bailey didn't do 2 and 3? But Art Matrano, he still did a good job. And the sad thing about that actor, apparently he had an accident and then he was a quadriplegic, which is very sad to hear, because he plays a character named Mauser, and he's our, again, I was going to say villain, but technically Bounty Gothwait and his Dane are the villains, but he's our antagonist for the cadets, because he wants to run the precinct instead of Howard Hessman's character. So he purposely fucks them up, sends them all to the same shop that's getting robbed, so that it'd be a clusterfuck. This is the first film where you give the character Proctor. I believe Lance Kinsey is the actor's name, and he would appear all the way up till part 7. He wasn't in part 7, but he was in 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Why he did not come back for 7? From what I understand, part 7, because they wanted to shoot it in fucking Russia, because that paper let's project to shoot in Russia. That's going to cost much money, so let's not bring back the people that people are going to see the movie for, not pay them. No, we're just going to bring back a couple and use the other money for Russia that no one gave a fuck about. I'll get to that. Piece of shit. Shit, damn. Making my ass go to sleep with this. I think you have a fucking mission to Moscow. But getting back to this. You do have Proctor, which is a fun character. When Mauser's asked him, "You're not playing with a full deck, are you?" And he goes, "No, sir, I don't play cards." Just so stupid he doesn't figure it out. Michael Winslow, he still has his fun sound effect stuff. Yeah, it's a gimmick, but it's a fun gimmick. He's talented at it. He found something he could do, and he made it work. And this movie, he's either fucking with a couple that's eaten, he's making these chewing sounds and lost straw sucking sounds, or when he's with this older partner, he's making the guy think he has a flat tire and then you check to see if the tires are fine, and he still makes you think, oh, it's a flat tire. It was cool to see Bob. I like Bobcat Goldthwait. I like the type of characters he was playing at this time. I know he will never do it again. He's embarrassed by it. That's why I get that Bobcat is embarrassed to be in films like this, but I'm sorry, man. They're better than the shit you direct. I'll say it here, Bobcat Goldthwait. If I met him in person, I would say, I'm sorry, man, but your acting here is a lot better and entertaining than any of the shit you directed. I'm sorry, Will's Greatest Dad, not a fan of that Robin Williams movie. Sorry. Your boring as fuck Bigfoot movie that I ranted on, Willow Creek, boring as shit. Nope, not a fan. You as Zed in Police Academy 2, 3, and 4, or you in One Crazy Summer, I'm down for that. It's not like they're hot to trot. The film you did with John Candy as a talking horse. But that's just me. Anyway. Him being the villain of this game was definitely a big plus. Just the Danes in the first film, they're just random, like, rioters, and that only really appears at the final act. Which makes sense, because most of the film is about the police academy itself. There's some characters that I could take or leave them, like the Goot is partnered with this huge slob who will eat anything, even if it's been in the garbage. I just see why that character never came back, and again, really nothing much. Nothing against the actor, just nothing much to that character. But yeah, the pranks Steve Guttenberg does, you know, the Harry Palms again, if you don't stop that, you'll go blind, or I hate to break this to you, sir, but I'm straight. Well, Tackleberry has some early on. A mom is asking him to steer the kid into going to school. So Tackleberry shoots a he shoots a fucking tear gas to the back of the car to get the kid out. Rest in peace, David Graf, who played Tackleberry. He was fun in these movies. I can't think of anything else he did other than Police Academy, but he was a lot of fun as Tackleberry. May he rest in peace. And his character actually gets to fall in love with in this movie, which is interesting. And it does follow through the movies, because we see him and his wife. Was it 4? Might have been 4 or 5 that we saw. I can't remember which one. We saw his wife again. And we do see his in-laws throughout it. Like in part 3, one of the in-laws tries out for the police academy. I think 4, his father-in-law tries to be one of the citizens on patrol. So I like that they try to keep some continuity into this, which is cool. Especially when you watch them back to back. Once again, I love that theme. The third act, Steve Guttenberg goes undercover into Zed's game, which was fun. It was fun to see Steve Guttenberg and Bobcat Goldthwait share scenes with each other. I even laughed when he's trying to go undercover and he's just breaking random shit in phone booths to try to get them to believe him. Or Zed asks, "What's your name?" And Steve Guttenberg can't think of anything, so he says Jughead. And Bobcat Goldthwait, "Jughead? My mother's name was Jughead." Well, hey, it's a good American name. Or Steve Guttenberg's going to smoke, and then Zed has his hand on fire and goes to him, "You shouldn't smoke. It's bad for your health." As his fucking hand's on fire. And the police academy, they get there to where Steve Guttenberg's at. they have their moments. Michael Winslow pretending to be a chopper, machine gun effects. Bubba Smith a bunch into the water. The one thing that made me laugh, well, there's a lot of these, but another thing that made me laugh at the end is when Bobcat Goldthwait's Zed gets punched. As he's going down the stairs, you keep hearing, "That didn't hurt. That didn't hurt." Then when he's face down, someone steps on his head, and he goes, "That hurts." I can't do it justice, but just the way Bobcat's like, "That didn't hurt. That didn't hurt. Oh, that hurt." I did fucking laugh at that. That was pretty funny. So I still think this is a fun sequel. Again, I like Art Matrano. G.W. Bailey is missed though. I didn't care for the slob guy that's with Mahoney. It's not rated R, it's PG-13, which, like I said before, I think the PG-30 PG, that works better for this type of franchise. That's just my opinion. I don't know, I don't really have much problem with this. I thought it was a fun sequel. I think it's one of the better sequels. I might like this a little more than the first one, I don't know. But I think it's a fun, worthy sequel. I enjoy it. But yeah, with that said, thanks for watching, and next I'll get to my favorite Police Academy 3, Back in Training. See you guys later. Bye bye.